So one of the aspects of cryptocurrency are the way to acquire new tokens, right? Or to new coins or whatever you might want to call them. Some do it through mining, through proof of work algorithms like Bitcoin, previously Ethereum. Now Ethereum has moved over to proof of work to try and compete with the latest technology, which is proof of stake in Cardano. And there are other methods for generating tokens, such as a Masternode. Now, a Masternode project or a Masternode is basically, how do I explain this? It's like a network of nodes or computers operating kind of like wallets, but in order to be applicable to generate a passive yield for a particular cryptocurrency, you have to own a certain amount of the coin to begin with. Okay. And I'll show you what I mean here. So this is a website called masternodes.online. Okay. And this is basically a directory of all of the different Masternode projects out there. And I already have this tabbed for the highest minimum worth, because one of the most successful Masternodes out there is Dash. Okay. And to launch one of these Masternodes to generate a passive yield, it would cost right now $34,198, which is actually really cheap for a Dash Masternode, because the last lowest I checked, last time I was looking at these, it was like $80,000. So it's dropped significantly. And of course, we're in a bear market where the valuations of everything has gone down substantially. But ultimately, that $34,000 is the cost to acquire 1,000 Dash tokens. So basically, this Masternode is saying in order to generate a yield, you need to own 1,000 Dash tokens in order to launch this Masternode. And based on the current price of the token, it would cost you about 34 grand. And that can change by the hour, by the minute. It's always different. The standard return on investment is 6.14%, and that's paid out in Dash tokens. Okay. So, and this goes on down the list. Some of them will have higher yield, like this one showing a 54.29% return on investment. This one is a Sapphire. SAP is showing a 57.58%, costs you $8,461 to launch one of these because you need 200,000 tokens. The point being is they're all different. And when you're looking at Masternodes, you have to look at certain elements of these to find out whether or not, I mean, it goes even deeper than this, but just if I'm looking down this list, what are some things I'm going to look for right off the bat? So like this one, Rapids, it's a fraction of a penny, but you need 10 million tokens to launch this Masternode just to get a 0.02% return. And it's going to cost you almost $17,000 to launch this Masternode. There are only 247 of them active right now, I'm guessing with team and hardcore people. And there's no volume. So there's basically no trading volume. I don't even know where you get these tokens. And that's basically it. So that crosses that right off my list. We can move down the list here. Global Smart Asset, GSA, currently trading at 79 cents. Not sure where. It's showing the volume as $3. And so you need 5,000 of these tokens just to launch this Masternode. Here's another one. This is actually one of my favorite Masternode projects that I've held, and it's treated me very well in the past. I don't currently hold it, but I will likely dive into another one, and that's Divi Project. And Divi Project, they split up their Masternodes based off of your minimum required. So like for this one, it might cost you, where to go? Divi Project. Yeah. So Divi Silver, it costs you about $30,450. You need 300,000 tokens to launch this Masternode at about 1.90% yield. Market capitalization is around 36 million, which is pretty good. Volume, however, is still a little low at $173,639 a daily trading volume. So, but the tokens are basically a penny a piece. Now, from here, what you might want to do is these Masternodes pay out in their native token. So with this, you'd earn Divi tokens. With Dash, you're earning Dash tokens. So you have to understand, and this is going to be different for every one of these masternodes, which of these masternodes might be more worthwhile based off of their use case. So you would want to look into like, well, what does Dash do? What's the point of it? What is Divi project? What does Divi do? And that's basically a matter of going into the website and trying to understand like more about the project. So this shows like weekly income paid out to all Divi masternodes, monthly, yearly. It gives you all the financial stats. And generally speaking, you're able to go to their website to find guides and tutorials, because setting up each masternode is different. There's no one way for everything, right? Every masternode is going to have its own specific requirements, its functionality. One of Divi Project's big claims to fame is the fact that it's super easy to set up the masternode. But this is all, it's all relative to your technical experience. Masternodes are generally very fruitful, but the question is, what use case does the masternode token actually offer? And will that demand increase over time, ultimately increasing the value of the tokens? So masternodes, in a sense, are kind of like, it's like playing its own market, because a lot of masternodes, when they first launch, the costs are very, very low. Some of these masternodes, it might only cost you $100 to launch one. And then, maybe that $100, that's the cumulative price of having 100,000 of those tokens. So what happens when those 100,000 tokens goes up to $1? Then it becomes $100,000 to launch that same masternode. And so, and at the same time, you're building your computer that you're running the masternode on is basically building another node to this total network of nodes all working together, processing transactions, so forth and so on, doing a lot of different things to improve the security of the network, so forth and so on. That's why you're generating this yield. So ultimately, that's masternodes in a nutshell. The trick is understanding which of these has the potential for real growth. Brand new masternodes, like I said, are generally pretty cheap to get into, but you have no real assurance as to whether or not they're going to go anywhere, if the project's going to go anywhere. And then it becomes more of a token evaluation of the team, of the project itself, the company. How long have they been in operation? What has their price history been like over the last year, 2 years, 5 years? How long have they been around? Have there been any hacks? So that is all a part of doing research in masternodes. But running them can actually be pretty fun, because it is a passive yield. And if you make the right bet on a masternode, Divi, to me, has proven itself pretty successfully over the years. I've met members of the team personally. I've had some of them on my channel in the past. That's not to say that Divi is the end-all be-all. Their primary use case is for remittance, basically the ability to transfer funds from point A to point B internationally with minimal fees. And they're building a lot of relationships in the banking industry and things of that nature to continue to grow their use case and their reach and their expansion. So it's definitely something I would encourage you to look into. I'm not telling you to buy it by any stretch, but if anything, it might give you a good grounding understanding of what a masternode token looks like, and kind of some of the things to expect. Dash has proven itself to be very, very profitable for many people. However, if I remember correctly, in the last peak of the market, I don't think the price even got back to its original all-time high from like 2018. So you might want to look at some of that. So like, this is the price in 2018. These Dash tokens were over $1,000. They were $1,200 a piece. And then you see here at the last peak, they only got to $400 a piece. Still pretty significant. So, if you're able to get them at the price they're at now, which is $34, even if each one of these got to $200 at the peak of the next market, you're probably going to do pretty well. And it's probably fairly likely that it'll get somewhere around there. I'm just guessing. I'm not a big Dash token guru. But when you're talking about a market cap of this size, when you're talking about this kind of trade volume, you're talking almost $60 million a day in trade volume. That's pretty significant. And that also means you're able to get in and get out of that particular token with relative ease without suffering slippage. Slippage being, if I'm trying to get rid of, $100,000 worth of Dash tokens, and the order books say that there's only $20,000 available to either buy or sell at a particular price point, well, to get rid of that whole thousand or $100,000 worth, that price may either go down as I'm selling it, or it could go up as I'm buying it. So the lower the volume of a particular asset, the more difficult it is to get in and out at the price you're seeing, on CoinMarketCap or your trading window, your chart window, your trading view, that sort of thing. So keep that in mind. You want projects that have high volume, because without that high volume, you're very likely going to start selling something at 30 cents. And by the time you've liquidated all of it, especially if you're using a market order instead of a limit order, which we're going to go into in other lectures here, then the price is likely going to drop on you. And that $100,000 worth of tokens, you may have only been able to exit at like $80,000. So, but that's Masternodes in a nutshell. It's definitely fun. It's kind of like treasure hunting in a way. And, if you get the right pick, man, you could be generating some pretty significant return on investment. You're talking about like a passive influx of cryptocurrencies. And so it's a matter of picking the right one. Some people just love and swear by Masternodes. I've had my fun with them. I like them. But I don't dabble as much in Masternodes nowadays. There you go.